Celebrate the month of reading by immersing yourself in timeless classics. Executive Director of Elevated Charter School, Amy Edwards, and college student Bree are joining me in this sponsored interview to share so much more. And Bree, you're a college student. You're actually the daughter of Amy here. So thank you so much for being here. You are student number 0. You based the curriculum of Elevated on your daughter.
I did. So I was homeschooling. I had been a professional teacher, and I stopped teaching to homeschool my own kids, ironically. And she needed more than what I could do. And so I developed a set of classes, and that ended up turning into a huge, over 100 kids a year program. And so I'm really excited now it can be a free charter school for
Amy,
kids.
You had no idea you were a case study for Elevated, but what are you doing now? What are you studying?
Yeah, so I actually am studying human development, which is so much fun, and I love it because it's just so multifaceted, and I love how I'm able to look back on all the stories that I love that are classics. I mean, classics are classics for a reason. Like, we remember them through time because they're amazing, and they are this look at human development and people.
Okay, Bree, when your mom wanted you to study and read classics, were you like, oh yes? Or did you have to warm up to the idea?
I think there were definitely some that were more interesting to me than others, but my mom started reading me books like this one it tells the Shakespeare stories like they're fairy tale type language, and so she used to read those to me when I was really young, and it made me interested in reading the originals a lot earlier than I think most kids would be.
Okay, Amy, the curiosity.
Yes.
And that's kind of the point of, okay, maybe you might not connect with this type of storytelling, but the same story can be told in so many different ways.
Yes.
Share that with us.
So, especially for parents out there, if you, or even adults who would like to read some classics but are a little scared by the language, my approach is to expose the kids to the storyline and get them intrigued with an earlier, simpler version. So then when they finally make it all the way up to Shakespeare's actual play, the language doesn't throw them because they know what the plot line is. So they know, okay, I don't completely understand this, but I know that this character is supposed to be really mad right now. This is a whole series of books.
So this is a Midnight's Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream. Hello. Okay, but this is a simpler kid book, and they're reading Shakespeare, and they don't even know it.
Right, and this whole series was developed by a teacher, and she actually writes in iambic pentameter, but much simpler wording, and all the illustrations are done by her students. So this is one I really like to start them on. I also have a whole bunch of different levels of the Odyssey. So, I mean, this is the actual Odyssey, which is thick and heavy and a little intimidating. And the Odyssey is a challenging classic because it starts in the middle of the story and then flashes back.
It's a little confusing, but
Right.
Here's an example. Percy Jackson, that's on it's on Disney, and my kids love it, but they had no idea that these are classic. The gods, the Greek gods, and so there are different forms of how you can read about the Greek gods. What is this one about?
So that one is actually, so I have an 8-month-old son, and that is one that we read together, and it just has all of these characters from classic literature for every letter of the alphabet, and it's just a fun way to kind of get him introduced to some of the characters that he'll come into contact with later.
M is for Mad Hatter, O is for Oberon, P is for Python. I mean, so many ways to get kids interested, and then they already have a foundation by the time they can read themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about the Odyssey and some of the other types of books that you can get kids interested in different ages and stages.
Right. So the reason that these are classics is because they say something about human nature or they resonate with us on a deep level. But so these stories are also movies, they're TV shows, and so I like to, if you've got a student or a child who's resistant to reading even the simpler versions, find a movie. Like the Percy Jackson series pretty much is the Odyssey. And, and you point that out to them, go, well, the original book is based on this. I like Warm Bodies, which is a zombie version of Romeo and Juliet. And they even have a balcony scene. that is
Okay.
fantastic.
A zombie with
yeah.
zombies. Marie, how do you think that helped you learn and go to higher education and get excited about reading overall?
Yeah, I think it helps me to go into reading anything throughout different subjects with more confidence, because when you're reading words that you don't understand as a young kid and learning how do I figure out what's being said or how do I find the meanings of these words, even when you're encountering really complicated science jargon, you have the tools where you know how to figure it out and you know how to find that understanding.
Bree and Amy, thank you so much. Where can people find more information about Elevated and all the resources?
The website is probably the best place, elevatedcharterschool.org, .com, and that has a lot of information about the school, and we actually just posted all of our classes that we're going to be offering along with all the books that will be included in each of those classes.
Oh, we're getting excited about reading. Thank you so much.